The Adventist Church in Albania is the youngest church in all of Europe. Work only began here really in 1992 when the opportunity opened up. So we only have a handful of pastors, small groups of believers, but the church is growing. And right here in Elbasan is the longest running global mission project as church members put into practice Christ's method of ministry, connecting with the community, showing His love. Hello and welcome to Mission 360. I'm Gary Krause. In 1910, a baby girl named Agnes was born right here in Albania. She grew, and at age 17 she went to Ireland and then on to India, where she taught at a school for 19 years. But then something critical happened in her life. She felt a call from God to serve the poor, and that call led her to the streets of Calcutta, the poorest streets of Calcutta. And of course, Agnes is universally known today as Mother Teresa. And travelers who land at the airport here in Tirana, Albania, are greeted by an airport named after this woman, a woman whose lives have touched so many people on the streets of Calcutta, but through her influence, as we hear about her selfless service. What is God calling you to do? What is He calling me to do? Because if you're a follower of Jesus Christ, He's calling you. It may not be to the streets of Calcutta, but it may be to serve someone closer home. He's calling you, He's calling me to service. On today's program, we have much to talk about in mission. But first up, let's travel to Inter-America.
This quarter we'll travel to the Inter-American region. The people here are friendly, and the scenery is beautiful. The area is made up of 37 countries throughout the Caribbean, Central America, and the northern countries of South America. The 39 languages and dialects make sharing the Adventist message here a challenge. But church members are working creatively to share the gospel, and membership is growing, with an average of about 500 new members added each day to the 3.7 million existing members. Belize is commonly described as a small country with a big heart. It lies between Mexico and Guatemala and sits on the Caribbean coast. Tourists come from all over to spend time by the ocean and soak in the rich culture. If we look back in history, we'll find a large territory controlled by the Mayan Empire. Today, the remains of this empire can still be found. Large pyramids sit in the jungle where many religious ceremonies once took place. In addition to the rich history, there are all kinds of adventures to experience in Belize. Belize is known worldwide for its wildlife. If you're lucky, you can spot a monkey or a toucan in the trees. If you're searching on the ground level, look out for Belize's national animal, the tapir, or even a rare jaguar sighting. Belize has one of the largest barrier reefs in the world, making it a popular destination for divers and snorkelers. Fish, turtles, and a variety of marine life can be found along the coast. Some brave divers will even jump into the water with the sharks. When walking through towns and villages, about 1 out of every 10 people you meet is likely to be an Adventist. On any given day, you will find members singing, praying, and teaching. On this evening in Belize City, Keith Alarcon leads a small group in Bible studies. Keith is an active member in the local church. Many of these people are not Adventists. In fact, they are meeting at the house of someone who asked to learn more about the Adventist message. Keith knows that his job is important. Small groups are an effective way to start new congregations of believers. By spending quality time with them, Keith and other church members have become friends with this group and are able to share God's love with them. By the illumination of this simple light, they read from God's Word.
And one of the first things that anybody will see when they come is to see our enthusiasm in soul winning, in reaching the unreached. We believe we want Jesus to come soon.
This is another happy Sabbath morning in northern Belize. On the campus of Belize Adventist Junior College, this group meets under a tent for church. The tent helps shade the church members from the hot sun, but also serves as protection from other elements. The weather here can change quickly, and when it rains here, it pours. Everyone takes cover in the nearby chapel, but it is too small to fit everyone. But not a single complaint is spoken. They continue to praise in the little chapel. The youth of Belize are eager to learn about Jesus, and on this Sabbath, some even make the decision to be baptized. The country is dotted with Adventist schools, just like Belize Adventist Junior College. The church recognizes that education is valuable and the youth are important to their future. Many children from the community attend these schools because of the quality education they receive, and it is one way they have the opportunity to learn about Jesus. Further down the road is La Loma Luz Adventist Hospital. This hospital was established in 1972 and serves as an important part of the community. The staff here provides quality care for their patients, treating a wide range of symptoms. The Adventist health system stretches around the world. This hospital upholds the same standard of care that is seen globally. The Seventh-day Adventist Church is committed to preach, teach, and heal in Belize. They are making progress through their small groups, schools, hospitals, and clinics. Please pray for the people in Belize.
Next up, Rick Kajira is talking with Nancy Mack from a terrific program called Adventist Child India.
Our guest today is making a difference among the lives of children in India. This is Nancy Mack. Nancy, it's so nice to have you with us here today. Tell us a bit about what you're doing in India.
My husband and I took a job in India with the Adventist Child India. We've been there for 13 months, and it has been an amazing journey so far.
Why did you decide that this was something you wanted to do?
Well, I instantly wanted to go back when I was called to go and work with the Adventist India because I was born and raised in India, and I have my heart there, and I love the Indian people and the culture, and just everything about India draws me.
And we both love the food.
Oh, yes, the food is excellent.
But, so what exactly is this? For people who don't know much about what Adventist Child India does, what exactly is that?
Adventist Child works with children that are Adventist children. They're children that are layman children, the very poor of the poorest. They will make approximately maybe $1 to $2 a day to live. The parents. Yeah. And so the parents are barely able to feed them and clothe them and keep a roof over their head. Education is just not in the recipe. It's just not going to happen. And so Dorothy Watts, who was a long-term missionary, had a real heart for the children and really wanted to make a difference for them. So she started this program in 2006, and we are just hopefully being able to carry her dream on.
And this is a program that the Adventist Church in India is running.
Correct. It's run by, from the GC to the division office and then to our Adventist Child India.
So what kind of difference does this really make to a child?
If you don't have an education, you're not going to be able to go very far in this world. Even in India, it is getting to where they are having doctorates and masters and masters and masters. I mean, they are very well educated, and it's changed there. So if you don't have an education, you can't go anywhere. And so what we're hoping to do is be able to give them a step up to where they can have that education, and they'll be able to get educated and make a life better for themselves, as well as their parents, and as well as for the church.
And it's a bit of a repeating cycle that if you're from a poor family, you don't get that education. And so by doing this and giving them an education, sort of breaking that cycle of poverty where they get an education, their children have a much better chance at a good future.
That's true.
So now, children, always touch hearts. Can you share some stories about children you've met?
Yeah, I'd like to share the story about Kima. Kima is now in 12th standard. He has been with the system from the very beginning. But I'd like to step back and tell you a little bit about Kima. Kima comes from a very poor family. He would not have been educated if the ACA Child India had not come in, Adventist Child India. And he's had his education where he found the Lord. He got baptized. He is the top of his class. At 10th grade, you have to make a decision when you're going through school in India. You have to either take arts or you have to take science. And Kima chose to take science. And he is now in his 12th standard, like I said. But one thing that was really interesting about Kima is that he went and did a science project in class and went to his city, his town, and won. Well, then he went from there onto the state and then to national and went to the very top. And every time he was the first. And can you imagine a young man who had nothing to being so in love with school and education, he's able to build, he built a big, it was something to do with steam cooking for high quantity people, like 100 people you could cook for and you need the steam. Now we all have pressure cookers, but he wanted something even bigger than that and he made it.
Wow.
And then he succeeded and then he won. And to me, just to see that happen was just amazing. He actually was supposed to shake hands with the president of India, but he wasn't able to make it. So he says, next time I hope I can do that.
To put that into perspective a little bit, we're talking national, so this is a country of more than 1 billion people and schools across the nation,
Yeah.
including some of the city schools. So
Oh, yeah.
wow, that's a tremendous accomplishment.
All schools.
Yeah.
It's not just our Adventist schools, it's every single school in India. And there's multiple, I mean, hundreds of schools, thousands probably, but he won. And he was so excited because to achieve something like that is just, you can't even put words to it. It's just amazing. So his goal is to finish high school, and then he wants to become a doctor. And he wants to share not only his becoming a doctor and being able to help people, but he also wants to share the way you can have eternity, a way you can have happiness, and a way you can have an education.
Now, many of these students, as we said, come from small rural villages, from very poor families, and they go to boarding schools. So not only do they get an education, but probably some of them may get a better nutrition,
Oh, yeah.
better meals than they do.
Yeah.
I know I visited some of the cafeterias there where the children are working on cooking the food. You know, they all contribute, they do things. They learn a lot of things beyond just, you know, the reading, writing, and arithmetic, but, you know, a good work ethic, a lot of things. So.
Yeah, they have a work program. The Adventist Child India has made it a policy that every child works at least 1 hour a day, which means that they can do groundwork, and a lot of the boys do that, or cook. And the girls are learning how to cook, which is amazing. I was so shocked one day when I went in, they were rolling out hundreds of chapatis. Now, if anybody can try to make a round chapati, please tell me, because mine turn into states of India or the world.
I've tried. Triangles are good when I hit a triangle.
Yeah, or square. I can do a square usually, but not a round circle. But they get good food. They get 3 meals a day. They have very simple food. It's not like a gourmet, but it's healthy food. And they'll get rice and curry, a dal with a fried rice. They'll get some yogurt.
Dal, which are lentils.
Yes, lentils. Yes, sorry, lentils. Yeah. And they'll have fruit. They usually get them bananas. Those are the least expensive because it's grown there.
Nancy, we're running out of time, but just quickly, if somebody wants to help a child through your program, how do they do that?
There's 2 ways. One is that they can go to acichild.com, and the other way is to pray. We are more than willing to have all the prayers out there because we believe that the Lord is really there and He will intervene and He will help a child through prayer.
Wonderful. Thank you for joining us, Nancy. And Gary, now back to you.
I hope you're enjoying the program. We've got a whole lot more coming up right after this break. Welcome back. I'm visiting with Pastor Gertjan, who is one of only 2 ordained Seventh-day Adventist pastors from Albania, working in Albania. And we're here in the city where you've been, what, for about 10 years?
Yes.
Yeah, so Pastor came here 10 years ago to plant a church. Tell us about this city and this community here.
Yes, this city is called Elbasan, is in the center of Albania, and is one of the strongest Muslim city. It's a city that most of people are secular and also cultural Muslim, and they have a problem of accepting Christianity. We have to work hard for each person to come to Christ. For example, I work hard with from 3 till 5 years, one person to get converted because of their psychological problem, because of their cultural Muslim, because of their atheistic background of communism, and so it's a difficult area in Albania. But by God's grace, we have achieved to have an organized church.
Fantastic.
I came here with just one member was here, but now we have about 20 members and more. In the future, we hope that it will grow more. And it has been hard and difficult, but God has helped us. And we are trying to do our best in everything. And also Global Mission, this has been project of Global Mission, and it is a Global Mission project, and we are happy that we can use all the resources and for God's kingdom that can be growing in Albania in this difficult country, and with mix of atheism and Muslim culture and communism and everything, you know.
And this is the church up here?
Yes, this is the church. This church, we had a church building, and this is Global Mission funded. It's a very good building. It's a very central. It's a local. We are in a castle. This is a castle 2,000 years, and this is Via Ignatia. When Apostle Paul, they say, has been walking here.
Fantastic.
And we have a church in that most probably Apostle Paul has planted.
Okay.
2,000 years
So
ago.
you're following in his footsteps?
Yes. Yes.
Well, let's go inside.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the worship space, and it's not a huge area. No. But what is this here? What is this text?
Here is Revelation chapter 22, verse 12. And we have done that because we are Adventist. Yeah. And so we are expecting the Christ coming, and everybody that comes here, then wow. And here is not only for worship, actually, because as I told you before, we have started from zero, and to contact the people, we have made many courses, languages courses, Russian, Latin, Hebrew, Greek, English, Italian, and also psychological courses for relationships, for stress. And we contacted many people, create a relationship with them, inviting them for Christmas program, Easter program, and then so we started broad. We did also some radio program. We still have a radio program. We started broad and then came down to personal ministry and make a small group and personal Bible studies. And so one by one, people were coming to church and getting baptized. And so we rejoice for each person that come to Kingdom of God, to God. And so that's our joy. So this is also, this is multifunctional. We use it also for worship. Every Sabbath morning we come here, and we have a small group of kids and youth and adult, but mostly this church is youth church. I am the oldest one. So it's because the Albanian youth are more open to spirituality.
Right.
And the older people, they have mixed experiences with communism and culture, different cultural experiences, and so it's a bit difficult, and it needs a lot of time. But youth is more open. And so we're trying to do our best for everything here.
So this is really what I would call a center of influence, because
Yes.
you're not just worshiping on Sabbath morning, you turn this into a place where you connect with the community.
Yes, yes. During the week we do different courses. Now we add, we continue these courses, what I said is in the beginning, but we add some more courses for Bible correspondent courses that we do it in small groups or one-to-one. Also through mail and internet ministry. And Facebook, we have a Facebook page, and we have many people there that follow everything what we do, all the activities we make with photo and put on Facebook, and everybody comes just for curiosity. As you said, really center of influence.
Yeah, fantastic.
They come and they experience, and that's what I say, come experience worship, come and see who we are and what we do, and whom we believe, and we share Jesus with them in a natural way, friendship evangelism. That's the
key.
That's the key.
Now behind you over here, I see an Albanian Bible.
Yeah.
How long has this been translated? I mean, has this been around for years?
This has been translated in 1994. And now we have three kinds of translations in Bible, and but this is the oldest one. I like it more because it's a translation from King James Version, and it's more to the original, I could say.
Okay.
But we are happy that we have a Bible in our language. Because in the beginning we didn't have, we have just, as you know, Albania has been the fanatic communism.
Yes. Yeah.
No churches, no mosque during communism, no Bible. If you say, oh God, you are in prison for 5 or 2 till 10 years. So it has been a really total, you know.
And people are taught atheism in school.
Of course.
And so today there is a real prejudice against Christianity.
Yes, yes.
But you say the younger people are more open.
They are more open
Yeah.
because, you know, parents are, some are Muslim background, some are Orthodox or Catholic background, and the youth says whom to choose, and better I become Protestant or Adventist, you know. So it's they are searching for identity.
Yes.
And for us, Jesus is identity, and the relationship with God is you have identity, and so that's what we tell people, that come to God, come to Jesus. He will save you, and He will give you what you are looking for.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing with us today. This is marvelous, and this group is full on Sabbath morning, and then
Yes.
you have a program in the afternoon.
Yes.
God continue to bless you. Next up, we travel to a totally different part of the world where God's mission is still going forward.
Jamaica is an island surrounded by the Caribbean Sea. We are a distinct people. We are warm and friendly.
This popular island destination is home to thousands of Seventh-day Adventist members.
We now have just about 300,000 persons in this country who are Seventh-day Adventists. And we're so happy to have the work has grown to the place where we now have 5 conferences forming the Jamaica Union Conference of Seventh-day Adventists.
On any given Sabbath, you can walk into a church and expect warm greetings and passionate praise. Each week, the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Jamaica grows. On this Sabbath, more than 80 people gave their lives to Jesus. People from all different backgrounds and social classes come to the ocean to celebrate the decision of those being baptized. Although membership is growing, Jamaica faces many challenges. People suffer from poverty and depressing domestic situation. Crime creates fear in certain communities, especially in urban areas. Her Excellency, the Honorable Lady Allen, holds a high leadership position in Jamaica and is a faithful member of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Her husband, Sir Patrick Allen, is Governor General of Jamaica and was knighted by England's Queen Elizabeth II. Lady Allen's position in government gives her an overall perspective of the challenges Jamaica faces.
What we need to do as a people is to come together to harness the ones that are committing the crimes and really get them out we have a culture where people are afraid to speak out, and that is where the problem lies. Because of the economic situation, we are not able to do all the social things that we'd like to do. So our social structures are not in place to prevent some of the problems that we are having. But despite all that we are facing, our people are strong, resilient, hopeful. So we look forward to better days.
In order to reach these people, pastors and church members put Christ's method into practice. They go to the people. Despite the challenges, many of these people have hope when they hear the name of Jesus.
God has used his people to continually present God's words before them, so men are always mindful. We have heard stories where people have held people up. There was one situation where a young man's telephone was taken from him, and his money, and he said, you know, the money is my tithe. And the other gunman said to him, give the man back his money. And he would not, and he held the gun at him and said, I say, give the man back his money. He said it is his tithe. So you know that God must have worked in that situation. And there are countless other stories to show how God has been leading in his people's lives.
The challenges are just a small roadblock for such a powerful God. Please pray for the people of Jamaica and the people in the inter-American region of the world.
I'd want them to pray for a reformation so that men and women, boys and girls, can really see who God is. And that we as Seventh-day Adventists will really be evangel-living people. We will live out Christ so that they can see Christ in us.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed today's mission journey around the world, from the beautiful forests of Belize to the heart of Africa, from the history and culture here in Albania through to the islands of the Caribbean. God's love is being shared by men and women, boys and girls, committed to sharing the love of Jesus Christ. Thank you so much for your continuing prayers and also your financial support for mission around the world. It does make a difference. We'd like to offer you a free copy of the Mission 360 DVD. This DVD is full of stories of mission, frontline mission work from all around the world. I hope you can join me next time on this program, and until then, may God continue to richly bless you and your families.